Trying to think what to do tonight. You know, I sing all the time, so I decided I did not want to sing a song. So I want to just share a story. I want to tell you a story that Wendy Bagwell used to sing, and many of you old folks will remember it. It's a song or saying it was a story. He said he was called to go up to a little country church. The pastor said, "Brother Wendy, I understand that you will go to a church sometimes without no money." And he said, "Well, that's true." He said, "Well, that's exactly what we got, no money. And so, and if you would, we'd love for you to come up and bring your group and sing for us. But you may not want to because we only got 24 members." And when we got there, we found out why. Wasn't long after we got started in the singing that everybody began to shout. Now that was a little bit unusual. But what really got unusual was when 3 women and 2 men came dancing on up to the platform, went behind the pulpit, went behind the curtain, and brought out 5 of the biggest rattlesnakes I'd ever seen in my life. After the service, they said that they were the biggest one there was 5 foot long. But the one they brought by me was 27 foot. They told me later that the Bible says to take up the serpent. And they feel like they got the same faith they had in the Bible. If they take up the serpent, as long as they have faith and stay in the Spirit, the snake wouldn't bother. And so this one woman had this snake, and she was dancing all around me, and she was spitting in his ear and speaking in his ear, for rattlesnakes got an ear, and they knew that she was in the faith. I was convinced that they knew, that snake knew that she was in the faith. She was in the Spirit. She was out of it. But when she went by me, she threw that snake down on the ground, took her shoes off and put her foot right on the back of his head. And when she threw it down, it missed my foot that far. She thought I was in the Spirit and tried to give me one of them. But I'd already looked around and I saw that there was a house full of people and only 5 rattlesnakes, and there is not a greedy bone in my body. I told him to give mine to Geraldine. Well, now if I'm afraid of rattlesnakes, Geraldine's afraid of bed bugs. And I looked at Geraldine and she was white as cotton, and I thought about 3 seconds from hitting the floor. And I said, "Geraldine, don't panic. Take it easy. Just look around real careful and see where the back door is." She says, "I already did, and there ain't one." And I said, "Well, where do you think they might want one?" Well, whenever we came into the church, they had some pictures of people in a casket. And the pictures were on the wall. Now, I've seen pictures in the wall before, but never in a casket. And after the service, I was saying, "Preacher, why do you have all those pictures on the wall of people in a casket?" I said, "Well, Brother Wendy, those are some of our people who took up the serpent and lost their faith." And I said, "Preacher, that would be the crowd that I would be in." And one of the ladies popped up and said, "Brother Wendy, you mean if God commanded you to pick up the serpent, you wouldn't do it?" I said, "Oh, yes, ma'am. If he commanded it, I would, but he didn't, and I ain't."